Alright. Welcome to episode. Damn it!
Welcome to Rage Candy. We're talking about Walking Dead, episode 3, whatever it's called. I'm Mark. This is
James.
Yeah,
The dark skinned one.
the dark skinned one.
What up?
So let's jump right into it. Walking Dead, episode 3. Me personally, I was right. I knew I was right. I was glad I was right from the first episode. And the second episode, he was like, oh yeah, you know, Rick should have just killed him then. Well, guess what Rick did? Rick did? Go ahead.
He killed him.
Yes! He fucking slaughtered those.
Oh my god.
They deserved it. Like,
they deserved it, but it was like he pulled the same trick he did on the governor back in season 3 with the prison.
yeah.
The exact same thing.
Yeah, and I think like it's because of that Rick learned his lesson. And then I thought the hunters, the cannibal people, they would be a consistent thing throughout the season as enemies. Nah, they're gone.
They going like that, bro. And to make it so bad, what bothers me, because for all the hype around what was going on and the build up, they ain't do shit. Ultimately, they ain't do shit.
No, they didn't. They ate Bob's leg.
And Bob was a goner.
Yeah, Bob was a goner. And you know what? All right, I want to touch on that. All right, in episode 2, when they went to the food cellar and he got attacked, I knew at that moment something happened to Bob where he was gonna die anyway because of that. Now everything that happened after that, where Bob got kidnapped by the cannibals and they cut off his leg and they just sitting there like, man, this barbecue Bob tastes fucking delicious.
Bob's Burgers.
That's disgusting. And Bob just sits there in episode 3 in the beginning and just flips out like, ha ha, you tainted meat, motherfuckers. And I'm like, tainted meat. How did you not notice that though? Like when you're cutting off his leg and you're kidnapping him, how did you not notice a huge, I'm a zombie, got bit right here, Mark?
I guess they were just too much in a rush, like to get karmic retribution for what happened.
I guess. I mean, they proclaimed to be hunters, but look what they didn't check the prey.
Nope.
They got ambushed.
Didn't get clean the meat.
Right. And then when overcooked it, it's okay. Like, ultimately it didn't matter anyway.
Yeah.
So they busted in the church after they dropped Bob off, made this whole scene, and got everybody nervous.
Mm-hmm.
They dropped Bob off and had that whole scene, and Rick's crew, which again, a bunch of badasses, if I might say myself.
This is the best crew they've had since the show has been started.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. Eugene and the other Abraham, that dude, and Tyrese, all of them, Glenn, that whole scene in the church where they hold up the church and they're about to bust in where Carl and the pastor and the baby is, and they just sneak up like. Actually, before that,
using the silences that Glenn got in this episode. Yeah. That was a nice little touch.
Really nice little touch. That scene where Rick and the crew is walking out into the woods, and then on the other side they're coming in. That was kind of great. Like I had to watch the episode like a couple of times because of that scene alone and how it built it up. Like, how did you not see them? Like, they literally just came this way. But whatever. That whole setup and the whole Glenn and Maggie and like splitting up.
I didn't see. Here's my issue with that whole thing. Abraham has been in a rush to get to Washington.
Right.
That's been a thing. Like, there is a clear and immediate threat. 3 people are missing. You don't know why. You just know 3 people are missing, and your solution is, let's get out of Dodge right this second.
Because, but they're always in Dodge.
But I'm saying, there was an immediate threat. 3 people are missing. I mean, even though one was legitimately kidnapped.
Right.
But still, 3 people are missing, and your solution is, let's leave right now. Bro, what's your problem? There's a problem here. If there's somebody who just kidnapped us, and we were all just together, maybe we should deal with this right now.
Yeah. And to some degree, they did with Rick and all of them. Like, hey, just stay 12 more hours. I call bullshit on that. But anyway, moving on. So they split up after all the chaos ensued. Matter of fact, I want to talk about that a little bit more again. So Rick had the machete and the black chick, what's her name, Tyrese's sister? Sasha, yeah, they just going ham. And while they're deliberating and talking about like, okay, this is a big move. If we do this, then all this stuff is going to change. And the one random chick is like, are we doing the right thing? I like her. She became the new moral authority. What
are we talking about?
What
Rosita?
I think so. Yeah, her.
Fuck her.
Why? She brought up a very good, valid point. Like, by doing this, are we no better than them? Are we no better than the cannibals that hunted us down?
No.
They slaughtered them. I mean, I get it's a kill or be killed world.
It's definitely the rule. The rules no longer apply. The moral authority, the moral high ground no longer exists. It's either you live or you die.
I understand.
And these people, if they didn't kill you, they were going to kill them. And it's pretty simple. There's no gray area. There's no ifs, ands, maybes, or buts. If they didn't kill them, they were going to kill them. Point blank period. Because they weren't going to stop. They weren't going to leave them alone.
Yeah, that's true. Even after they got ambushed and killed two of them.
And considering where she came from with the governor, should she really be talking about what's right and wrong?
Yeah, it makes sense to me. She went through the anarchy of what happens when order goes to chaos. And, she's bringing back the moral authority, something we haven't had since Dale died. Yeah, Dale, right?
Dale.
Yeah, since Dale died. She's bringing back that moral authority. Or Herschel, yeah. So she's that moral authority. Now she's gone away because she went with them to D.C., but still, like, are we doing the right thing? Are we losing our humanity? Are we letting this world take us over? She brought up a good point. You can't argue with that.
It was lousy. It was a lousy point. I think it was a lousy point, all things considered. Because Gareth and his crew, again, they were not going to stop. They were going to keep on keeping on. And as far as Rick and them knew, 3 of their members were gone, including their best hunter.
Well, I mean, and that's going off into the whole thing that happened at the end, but we'll get to that.
But I'm saying, just the fact that 3 people are missing, and they're not going to stop. And the fact that Gareth said, I'm going to eat the baby too.
Yeah, okay, I get what you're saying, but
motherfucker's got to die.
At some point, like, maybe there could have been a peaceful solution. Then even the pastor came out and said...
There is no peaceful solution.
Even the pastor came out and said, this is the Lord's house. And
then Maggie said...
Yeah, Maggie was like...
This is 4 walls on a roof.
She also had a good point to, this is the world we live in now. I like that. It was the whole episode as a whole, especially all the church scenes, very well written.
Yeah.
And it explained exactly what they're going through. I think each season of The Walking Dead goes through a certain level of humanity of what it takes to break you down from where we are now to the world that will become. And, like in the first season, it was, okay, this stuff is happening. We got to survive. We're still humans. We still bury the living and burn the dead and show respect. And then in season 2 and 3, they broke that down. Season 4, everything went to shit. Fuck humanity. Fuck dictatorship. This is kill or be killed world. You don't know who you're going to come across. And now season 5 is the product of that. You have this mission. Go to DC and survive. And you got all these things along the way that's going to stop you. They're now going from Georgia all the way up to the Carolinas and Virginia to get to D.C. in hopes that something is there when they don't even know. So they're taking this zombie show on the road. We're about to see a lot more of what the world has become in The Walking Dead. Now, I want to give a tribute to Bob. Bob, you had a good run. You were supposed to die time and time again. But this ending, how you passed this time, a little too sentimental. I wanted something like that one random guy who got bit in the first season. They just left him with a gun by the side of a tree. I wanted something like that because I don't really care for Bob that much. But seeing Sasha cry and then Tyrese had to come in and do the end and everyone saying their goodbyes, a little too emotional. Like that whole episode had a lot of crazy emotions going on. That one kind of took me out of the mood of, oh, you just slaughtered 5 people. Now let's have this sentimental death scene. Kind of took me out of the show a little bit, but still very well written. What do you think?
Man, fuck Bob. Straight up and down. Fuck Bob. And they did their best to try to make me care about Bob and his pending death. He didn't give a shit. He just killed the guy already. Damn. I don't give a shit about him getting bit. I don't give a fuck about his love for Sasha. Kill the bastard already if you gonna kill him.
Some of his best acting came from the first 3 episodes of this season.
Give a shit about Bob.
I cared about Bob in those first.
I wish they would have cared enough about him to give him a more generic name than fucking Bob.
Yeah,
they put more fucking thought into T-Dog than Bob.
AMC. How dare you name a black person Bob?
That's not a name. Bob was in the comic book, so that's not their fault. But it's still
comic books.
Fucking Bob.
How do you give a black guy the name Bob? That go out in reality and find one black person named Bob.
The whole scene, when it finally ended was touching with Tyrese, put him out of his misery with a knife in the head before he gets hurt.
It was a little too much. Like they just killed 5 people.
But it's like, oh my god, you were dead like an episode and a half ago. Why are we still doing this? Why are we still dealing with you? Why are you still here?
I would have just put him out his misery from the beginning.
I wish Gareth would have done it.
That would have took away from that whole surprise element thing that
really had. Kill him and put him in front of the church. Same thing happens.
No, I would have reacted differently versus him being alive because Bob had information that they didn't know at that time, so it adds up to it. Because they would have, if Bob had died and then they did that, they would have found out where they were and they would have been vulnerable and they would have been ambushed that way and everything would have just happened completely different.
Too true. I take that back.
Or they would have just all got the hell out of there.
But still, fuck Bob.
No.
Go away.
Abraham's decision
I don't want to see you in flashbacks. Just go away.
Abraham's decision to leave as soon as he did and leave Carol and Daryl behind.
See?
Right choice, wrong choice.
See? Right choice for him. Bad choice for Maggie went through hell and high water to search for Glenn. Her sister is out there. Did you think about your sister at all? Do you give any thought or care about what was going on with your sister before you decided you wanted to up and leave and go to DC? You wanted to travel different states while your sister, it's her sister, your sister is out there in the world.
It's been 15 minutes, move on.
The point is, prioritize. You went through all that work for Glenn. Why can't your sister, your family, get the same treatment? That's all I'm saying.
So who do you think is with Daryl in the woods?
My bet is probably Beth.
Just Beth? No Carol? No Carol. Other random person? Because that was kind of suspicious how he came out like I didn't get that. Like, he snuck up and, like, had them wait. I didn't get that. So, maybe were they watching what was going on at the church and did all that, then waited for them to come in? Or did they literally just come up at that moment and we just wanted to see, like, hey, let's make sure everything's okay? I'm kind of confused. I can't wait for Sunday's episode.
Yes. Next week's episode looks to be good. Can't really say for sure about what I really expect. I'm ready for them to have a break. It's been 3 episodes of just back-to-back non-stop happenings and the loss of Bob's Burgers. So I think they've earned a break.
That's still disgusting. I think we're going to get some interesting story development. Like, what did happen to Beth? Mm-hmm. They're going to introduce new characters and a whole new side story. I'm kind of excited about that. Like, what else is going on in this world? You got the governor and these cannibals and Rick's crew, the random black guy from season 1 that's slowly making his way back.
The level 30 Destiny player.
Yeah, level 30 Destiny player. And then, like,
all kinds of exotic gear on him.
All over Facebook and Twitter, people are just talking about the comics. The comics shit is about to go down this season. I have not read any of the comics. So some shit happens in season 5.
But according to the comics, shit is about to get real.
Do they make it to DC at all? All right.
Oh, Mark.
Whatever.
Oh, Mark.
I'm Mark. This is James, and this is Rage Candy.